Hello, this is the Animation Fanatic, and today I have a special review for you of The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies, the final chapter in the Hobbit trilogy, and possibly the final chapter in Page's Lord of the Rings series, which now that I just think about it, has been going on basically since I was a small child, because the first Lord of the Rings film, came out in, I think, 2001? Probably started filming 2099 or somewhere around there. So basically, Lord of the Rings has been around almost as long as I've been around. From there until its eventual end, or beginning, end of the beginning to this past month. Just a quick warning for those of you who have not seen the film. This is going to be spoiler territory, so you probably want to go see it before you come and watch this review. I will just say that the movie is very. I hadn't seen the previous Hobbit films, so this was a new experience for me. And for what I got, it was actually done very well. I would almost say I liked it just as much as I liked the original ones, because I saw the original ones very recently. At least Battle of the Five Armies. I don't know about the other films, but I liked Battle of the Five Armies a lot. There were some things that I didn't care for, particularly certain designs that I didn't like, but overall it was a fairly effective movie. I wouldn't go into this for character. If you haven't seen the previous films, it's not too bad. As long as you know the book, you'll be pretty safe. Don't go in here for a ton of character. There is a certain character pieces and things that I like in this, but a lot of the movie is just talking, fighting. So don't go into this movie to understand some deep secrets of the universe. This is basically talking, fighting. Yeah, that's kind of the whole movie in a nutshell. But for what it is, I liked it. I liked it actually quite a lot, and I thought it managed its different elements fairly effectively. It did leave some things open that I wanted answered, but extended editions, that's what they're for. Deleted scenes, 20 hours of deleted material. But yeah, this is possibly the end of the. Okay, now we're gonna get into the spoiler territory, so go away. But you just, as I said, good film. Check it out. I don't. If you go in prepared, or even if you don't go in unprepared, I think you'll enjoy it. Just don't demand too much from it. But anyway, yeah. So when you think about it, this series that has been going on for almost as long as I've been alive. I'm almost 20 years old now. Is about to finish, and that's actually a little bit. It's a little bit sad, and that's why I like the end credits so much. The end credits are really nice, but getting back on track, of course it might not be finishing. It might be possible that Page will want to do more Lord of the Rings stuff, more Lord of the Rings stuff set in Middle-earth, or he might move on to Dungeons and Dragons. I heard a rumor about that. This was like a year ago almost, but that could be possible. Or he could do something else entirely. Could do another horror film. But anyway, it's really interesting to see, bittersweet almost, to see the end of this, and especially since I went back and watched on New Year's Eve. I went back and watched the original trilogy. So to see this thing that started out at one point and continuing on to the next and the next and the next is really cool. So yeah, like I said, I came into this kind of blind because I'd read the book. At least I'd read The Hobbit, but I was coming into this not having seen the previous two films, so I wasn't sure quite how much to expect. But for what I got, I actually enjoyed it. I wouldn't say this is a perfect movie. I actually, now that I think about it, I wouldn't say this is as good as the original trilogy, but I liked it for what it was. And like I said, fighting, talking. A lot of that. But yeah, as you know, the basic plot is it takes place. They throw you right into the action. Smaug is attacking Lake Town, and everything is chaos. There's fire everywhere, and then Bard kills him, and then it moves on to Thorin and the dwarves and Bilbo and their activities in under the mountain, and then everyone wants a piece of the treasure. The elves come, the humans want some, then the dwarves come to fight, and then the orcs are coming over there to capture the mountain, and Gandalf is fighting Sauron, and he's fighting the Ringwraiths along with Saruman. Oh, really cool to see Christopher Lee fight. This 90-plus-year-old man doing, I don't know how much of his own stunts he did, but looking like he's fighting all these different people. And it was cool to see Elrond and Lady Galadriel, although I will admit, now that I think about it, while I was kind of interested to see more about Gandalf and Galadriel's relationship, like it seemed like there was some kind of a longing that Gandalf had for her, like he might have been in love with her or something like that. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see more of that, or somebody said, oh, it was like a bad fanfic, although it was, or not a bad fan, like a fanfic to put all those characters together, have them fight, and it doesn't entirely impact the plot. And I would kind of agree. I know there's probably stuff that they've built up and done in the previous films, but yeah. I wanted to see, when Saruman said, I'm going to go after Sauron, I'll take care of him, I wanted to see what happened after that. I really wanted to see how Saruman got corrupted. Is this in a previous film? I don't know, but I really wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see more of Saruman. I kind of want to see more of Galadriel and Gandalf because that's actually really sweet. I think that's kind of cute. Yeah, just to ignore the fact that Ian McKellen is gay. But anyway, I wanted to see more of that. But oh well. By the way, Sven from Frozen is in this. He dies. Yeah, somebody pointed that out to me. Oh, Sven is in the movie. But yeah, most of the movie focuses on pre-battle stuff. There's a lot of great comedy from, what was his name, Alfred, the guy who was the deputy, and he remains the deputy throughout, and he tries to declare Bard king of Dale and everything. He was really funny. There was a lot of great comedy from him, but I was just kind of wondering, wait, what happened to him after the movie ended? I wanted to see, did he die? Did he get away? Did he, again, extended edition, but it's like, put it in there, man. I should get to my opinions on the orcs. I do not like the designs here. I know they're the orcs of Gundabad and orcs of the Misty Mountains, although weren't the orcs inside the Mountains of Moria, which is inside the Misty Mountains, weren't they, those were the little orcs, weren't they supposed to be smaller? And that's the way it's described in the books. The orcs from the Misty Mountains are usually smaller. Like some of the bigger ones are almost up to the Uruk-hai strength, but they're smaller. I don't know about Gundabad orcs, but I just felt like they should be smaller, and that's kind of what's in the lore. But even if you don't do that, I just didn't really care much for the designs. I mean, I know they were trying to go for all CGI, but I didn't like the way they looked. They tried to make them look like the Isengard orcs. It just wasn't happening for me. Oh, the wargs got completely shafted. It was just like, they are the 5th army in the book. And I guess when they said Battle of the 5 Armies, they meant 4 armies, or sorry, 2 orc armies, and elf, dwarf, and human. But yeah, the wargs got really shafted. You see some of them being ridden, but yeah, it's kind of like, it's in the same way the wild men of the Dunland got the shaft in the 2 towers, you know. They were part of the main assault in the book. They were the ones trying to batter down the door. They were doing a lot of things. They were doing a lot of the fighting, because the Uruk-hai are still only about as tall as a man, and they're actually weaker. It's stated that the orcs are weaker than humans, and in, you know, a lot of the movies they look like really terrifying and like they're stronger and whatnot. But anyway, I did not care for the design of the orcs or a lot of the trolls who, it started to get kind of silly. I mean, I know this is sounding weird coming from a fantasy fan, but maced hands, pegged feet, arm with blade, no, just, no. But anyway, it was, yeah, I didn't care much for the designs or really the characters that much, and they spoke English in the previous movie. Why did they, the other movies? I don't know. Bilbo! You do not see a lot of Bilbo in this movie. For a story that ostensibly about Bilbo, he's actually kind of in the background for a lot of... I mean, he does a lot of things. He's an important character, somewhat. But this is less his story than it is everyone else's story. because there's a lot of characters in here. There's several dwarves who get different things. There's Bard, there's Alfred, there's the elves. I forgot what the female elf's name is, the one who kind of teams up with Legolas in a lot of things, doing a lot of things, and is it Philly or Killy? One of them is in love with her. That was really cool. I liked that dynamic. I thought, that's really cool. That's not just like elf and human. That's elf and dwarf. You kind of got to get your head around that. And together. That's almost the equivalent of elf and hobbit, or hobbit and man. And while it does mirror a lot of and they do mention things, and it does mirror a lot of Aragorn and Arwen's dynamic. As you know, it does not end happily in this one, and that's what I wanted to see more of at the end when she's saying, "Why does this hurt so much?" Because I was kind of rooting for them to get together. I was like, "Yes, come on, you get together. You can spend the rest of your lives together. Ooh, come on!" But it didn't happen, and she says, "Oh, this hurts so much," and the other elf says, "Oh, that's because it was real." And I just can't help but think, okay, and then more, and then she did, and it's just, I kind of want to see more of that, and I wanted that relationship explored a bit more, and just kind of see more of an aftermath to that, but that didn't happen. That's what one of my disappointments was. But like I said, Bilbo's kind of minor here. I mean, he is part of the story, he is important, but yeah, he's not the main focus here. Thorin is a big focus, and his creeping madness. I liked how they made him sound like the dragon several times. That was really cool. But he is a big focus of the story. You could almost call this his story and Bard's story rather than anyone else's. Also, Legolas and Super Mario Brothers. Just watch the movie. Watch the movie again, and when Legolas is trying to climb up the falling stones, Legolas is Mario. What else can I really say about this movie? Like I said, it's a very well done, effective movie. I love the end credits. I love that final song. It's bittersweet to see this go, but this might not be the final end. We've seen a lot of ends to things in 2014. We've seen the end of The Legend of Korra. We've seen the end of Naruto. We've seen the end of possibly the Peter Jackson films. Actually, that brings me to my other point I want to make. I would not mind seeing actually the Lord of the Rings films remade in the near future by somebody else, especially in animation, because I think there's a lot you can do with animation. I think there's a lot you can accomplish with it. So I would be really interested to see that. But who knows what's going to happen. But we've seen a lot of ends in this past year, but, you know, it's a new year, there's new beginnings, there's the continuation of the Marvel franchise, there's a new Hunger Games, which will be the end. Which will be the end. There's Jupiter Ascending, which might be the next Star Wars, or might just crash and burn in oblivion. There's a new Star Wars film. There's all kinds of new things. Oh, there's new Pixar films. There's going to be a new Pixar film, Inside Out. I can't wait to see that. There's going to be a lot of new things. So, with every old thing, like with the years, like with how years pass, with every old thing that withers and dies, a new thing rises up to take its place. And yeah, that's kind of an analogy for the year. So, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you had a good past year. I hope this next year is good to you. You know, if last year was tough, I hope you have a better one. If last year was great, I hope you have an even better one. So I will be back. Like I said, I don't know where I go from here, but I will be back with more reviews, more, you know, different things. Maybe someday a retrospective on the whole Korra series. I will be back, and I hope we can enjoy the rest of this year with new discoveries and more great animation, because, you know, I am the animation fanatic.